What's up, YouTube, and welcome to my very first tier list of all time. I know this is a very popular thing a lot of people do on YouTube and Twitch, but I have long been a holdout on doing a tier list, but the maps are in such a situation for Age of Empires 4, I think it's time to finally do a map tier list. So we have all of our maps here for AoE 4. There's one hidden underneath here, but you can see it, Confluence. And we have S tier, meaning great map, would play all the time. A, mean it's pretty good map, but maybe it's just not the S tier. B is a sometimes Alt F4, other times you might play. So this is kind of an in-between Alt F4. To be honest, we could have called it that. And then there's Alt F4, never play this map in any situation until they make major balance changes to water. But let's get into it. We're going to go just straight across here and we'll see what we think. And we are live on Twitch right now. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you come along and say hello. And if you're on Twitch watching this on YouTube, make sure you comment first in the comments and say you were there or whatever. In chat, if you disagree here, you can maybe sway my opinion as we go through this. So let's do this. Thank you so much for those follows there. Okay, Lipany. This is absolutely S tier map. Great map. Generally, the map spawns, the resources is fair. It's got multiple sacred sites to work around. It's got some stealth forest action. It makes it interesting. Hands down, don't need any question about it. This is an S tier map. And I'm already seeing chatter. Depends on the civ. I'm going to just say in general is what I'm going for, because I know they can kind of depend on civ, but I think just in general, this is going to be true, because all the French players will be like, what do you mean? All these water maps are S tier. Okay, so Lipany, S tier for sure. Easy, done. Hill and Dale. So Hill and Dale. Now this map, this is what I'm going to have to think about here. So Hill and Dale's got the two hilltops, res in the middle. You've got your trading posts there. It's definitely an A or an S tier. But I do think this definitely is a map that can favor the boomy civilizations. My biggest complaint with Hill and Dale, and this maybe isn't even a map issue, it may be more of just like everything's a Springald issue, right? Is with the current meta of mass Springalds, you literally cannot attack into the enemy's base because it's uphill. It's always uphill and you don't have line of sight. And it's extremely hard to get in there. And yes, you can try to build towers or throw some scouts in there, but it makes if you're the attacker, you're like mostly probably losing the game if your enemy's massing Springles, and it makes it extremely hard to jump into. Also, there's the market mid, so I'm gonna put this in A, since B is kind of reserved for sometimes Alt F4. I don't Alt F4 out of Hill and Dale, so I'm gonna leave it in the A tier map category. If we were going to have one additional category, should we add one more category? I would maybe put this like right below A tier. Not my favorite, and it's not even, I wouldn't say it's an excellent map. But I think this is fine. I think it's fine. I don't want to have too many tiers. I'm trying to keep this simple. Okay, King of the Hill. Oh boy, now this is one I've had change of opinion on. I originally really enjoyed King of the Hill. I thought it was really fun. But then I started to realize how terrible it is that you just have one tiny wood line and there's one gold in your base that might be right in front of your base. And this largely favors many of the civilizations that are able to put early pressure. And you can just straight up be screwed if some longbows plant themselves in your wood line before you get a tower up, or you have like massive raiding coming in. There's only one spot to be raided at. I think this is easily going to be... man, I don't... We got to add another tier, guys. We got to add another tier. We got to do it. We're going to do it. Add a row. Add a row below. There's going to be A, B, and C, and then Alt F4. That's what we're going to do. So I would put King of the Hill. I think this would go... I think this goes in B tier. I think, man, these two, how would I rate these side by side? I think this is right. I'd prefer Hill and Dale over King of the Hill. It depends on what your strategy is, but I think in general, King of the Hill, B tier, because the res line's pretty bad. For Delhi, honestly, Delhi, I thought it was an S tier Delhi map, but still, you can have just no res at home. It could be extremely hard. I'm going to keep it in B. I'm confident with that. Mongolian Heights. Okay. I might come back to some of these water ones, but Mongolian Heights, I would say, is I usually alt F4, but sometimes I play it. So just with that metric alone, since I said if I sometimes will play it, it gets to go in C tier. Anything you see here that has water is probably going to be C or below. I don't know if we'll see if there's any I put in B tier. Because the fish spawns are just so sporadic. Not only that, the fish spawn sometimes like all the relics will spawn on one side of the river, which can be not good. And the sheep, like if you run in that jackpot of sheep, you have like all the sheep because sometimes they're just in crazy clusters. Sometimes it's fun to get all the sheep, but sometimes you're the one not getting any sheep. So I will put this as C tier. I will sometimes play it, but I don't always at alt F4. Sometimes I do. Okay. Altai. Oh man, this is a good map. This is a good map, guys. Quality map. So is it A or S tier is the question. Altai's got the sacred sites here in the middle. These mountain ranges that kind of divide up the map. You always start with the hunt. You know what? This is S tier map. You always have a berry bush in your base. You always have a hunt very close by. You have some decent wood lines, some choke points if you want a wall, if you want to do sacred sites, or that's your thing, but it's not completely walled off. I think Altai is a absolutely stellar map. So S tier for Altai. I think easy. Did I get it right, chat? Hopefully we did. Okay. Ancient Spires. Oh boy. I would say out of all of the water maps, Ancient Spires is my favorite one. It's the one that you can usually, yes, the lakes can sometimes not have the deep water, the deep water fish, right? That can be unfair as far as the spawns go. I'm thinking about like, does Ancient Spires go into B tier? What do you guys think? B tier or C? It's non-alt F4 map. I'm not sure if I sometimes, because since I said C is sometimes alt F4, I'm not sure that I alt F4 Ancient Spires. You think it's worse than Mongolian Heights? Really? I think B. I don't think I alt F4 out of Ancient Spires. I think it's the only water map I would say is acceptable out of all of them. Now there might be a day I'm just not really feeling water that I might, but in general, I think this is good. I like this. I think it's B tier. Mongolian Heights is definitely, like, you have several chances at some different ponds, and it's usually, it can be like, I think it's randomly pretty good. Where Mongolian Heights could be like, there's no fish where you just built your dock. I like it. Ancient Spires, there's some choke points, there's some sacred sites. You can do a little bit of everything. And you don't have to worry about like a French build a dock because you can just build on pond where they aren't at. So we're gonna stick with that. Okay, easy. Do I need to say anything? Okay, let's just make a short list. Let's see. You could spawn on an island, on an archipelago that doesn't have stone on it. You can have either like abundance of gold, or you don't have abundance of gold. The res spawns are crazy. Sometimes maybe you can ride a boat all the way around your island. Sometimes you can go around the right side, the left side, and sometimes your opponent's got like a more favorable bay or spawn or area. There's all kinds of factors of like you getting out on the map. It's just with the state of water balance right now, absolutely alt F4 tier. This is an exhibition map, should not be in the rotation. So there. Black Forest. Now Black Forest is a map I've recently had some great beef with. They can have just terrible tree lines cutting you off from your relics, from your sacred sites, from resources. But since I just got done playing a game on Black Forest, by my standards, it isn't an automatic alt F4. I think it's a solid C tier. I'll sometimes play it. Many times alt F4. And I think there's some people who actually have a soft spot in their heart for Black Forest. I think Black Forest is a better map for teams. I think for teams it's generally more fair. It seems to be. I think it's a little more fun for teams, but I think I could keep Black Forest in C tier. Okay, Boulder Bay. Oh man, Boulder Bay. Nope. I would say it's okay. I always alt F4 Boulder Bay, but the one thing I will tell you that Boulder Bay has, No, that's not even true. I was gonna say it's generally pretty even. Like you have the same access to fish, you have the same access to the sacred sites. In general, this res. But you know what? I have had a tree line completely block me in Boulder Bay. Has anyone else had that happen? So for that reason, I've had some crazy. I've also had it where like all of my gold is up. Like if I'm here, all of my gold is up against the shoreline, and I'm not able to like gather my gold if there's a hawk sitting here. And that could be pretty terrible. So I was going to say it's consistent, but I've also had some terrible spawns on this map. And I'll be honest, I always Alt F4 this map. I don't ever play it. So I think for that reason, it does have to go in the Alt F4 category. If you play French, you're probably putting it right here. All right. But yep, Alt F4. Mountain Pass. Easy, right? Easy. Fair spawns, one sacred site per side. You can add some walling in the middle if you want. Generally, the res is pretty decent. Some nice elevation changes. Makes it interesting. I think Mountain Pass the easiest here. On to Nagari. Oh, boy. You know what the funny thing about Nagari? I think Nagari deserves to be an Alt F4 map. But I sometimes play it. And every time I play it, I'm like, why am I doing this? We shouldn't be doing this. Shouldn't be playing this map. Because here's a few things that can happen. A forest spawn can block you from getting to the water. That can happen. Your pond can have deep water fish, but maybe your enemy's pond doesn't have deep water fish. And not to mention, those forest spawns can block you off from the gold. Not to mention civs that have resource generation, such as the Holy Roman Empire or the French, or even the gold generation of the English. They maybe don't care about leaving their little corner where you're going to have to and fight in these chokes here where the gold are. So I do think this needs to stay in the C tier just because I've played it. I'm seeing arguments that Nagari is worse than Boulder Bay. Ooh, I don't know. Personally, this is my tier list. I always opt for Boulder Bay, but I have found myself sometimes playing Nagari. I do think Nagari deserves to be in the Alt F4 list, though, but sometimes I don't know what it is. She keeps bringing me back in sometimes. I just it gets the best of me. So we're going to keep it where it is. Warring Islands. Boom. Out of all of the island maps, this is my preferred one. I guess out of all two of them, right? I think would be Warring Islands. If they could just fix the res spawn. The same thing I said with this map. It could just have the gold or the stone or whatever you have, the relics, like you could have like the middle islands, like you're blocked off from it. Like you have to go around this big middle island, but maybe your opponent's like spawned here and just go straight forward to come over to cut off your stuff and cut you off from the island. There's all kinds of crazy things that can happen. Warring Island, Alt F4, because the state of water right now, purely water maps. But I think it has real potential if they could fix up. I mean, let's be honest, these all have potential if they can fix up water. But I don't love while I enjoy random map generation to a degree, I wish Warring Islands was more consistent. Like you've got this big island, they've got this big island, there's one island. Like it's kind of like that, but it isn't exactly fair. Like compared to like where the trading ends up being and where you have to like build your docks, go around, it can just be really weird. So that stays there. Confluence. Oh boy. Confluence used to be a map I play. But this is recently how I've been feeling about Confluence. Man, I know some people really will play this. I really dislike this map. I think I'm going to put it on F4. It used to be one I would sometimes play. I don't play Confluence anymore. You could end up with no fish in your water. So you might be on this side, right? And you can end up with no fish in your water. I believe, I can't remember if it's Confluence or Danube River. I think it's Confluence. One of them, sometimes you could spawn on one little island and your like opponent has like two. Maybe it's in the team games. I can't remember exactly which one. Yeah, you can end up spawning without a bridge. I've heard that's a thing. There's also like the fact that you could just sit here and park the demo ships, which need to be tuned back, like at the crossings and nuke entire armies. There's this stupid awkwardness of like, which side do I attack on? Which like, how do you like? Because I feel like with the way that pop space works, you've got to have like 100 something villagers in game, right? On villagers, and then you've got to have your infantry or whatever type of army, and then your siege, which, just to be real, you just need to have about 100 sprinkles. But you've got to like have that army together to be effective. And if you go one way and your opponent goes the other, like what do? You just getting this really weird dance. I want to have like an actual engagement with my opponent's army. I don't like the crisscross stuff. I don't like it. I've seen several like 2-hour-long games on this map, and it's always like a pain to watch. So Alt F4, easy for Confluence. I got Confluence for both trades were on opponent's side. No fish on my side, and his side was 2/3 the map, and mine was 1/3. Yep, that sums it up. So Confluence used to be one I would sometimes play, but I've recently Alt F4 all the way. Danube River. Oh boy, you know, I think this one, I'm trying to remember because these two run together to me. This one has right down the middle. It's got these cross. I can't exactly remember the spawn on this. I feel like I sometimes play it, so it's gonna go and see. I think there maybe could be arguments for some of these to move into B, but I think this is where I put it. I think I sometimes play this map, although recently I do Alt F4 it, but it's a sometimes Alt F4. Yeah, where the sacred side spawn. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna keep that there. I think there's arguments for it to go either way, but I think we're gonna leave it there. Dry Arabia, boom. I mean, if there was an S+ tier, should we add? I think we can. I'm gonna add one. Add one above. Wait, this one gets its own tier. How do we get a color? Let's give it a. Let's go. Ooh, I can do colors. See, I'm learning. Oh, I want this to be green though. This is gonna be S+, Dry Arabia, all the freaking way. Anyone disagree with that? How could Arabia not be S+? It totally is. Here we go. Let's give it some colors. There we go. So S+, there's S. There's your A. Let's give that a color. How about A could be B? How about this color? Purple. B. And then we got Alt F4's got to be red. Yep. And then we've got, I think this one should probably be, let's go with the orange. And then we got B could be the yellow. Okay, there we go. So Dry Arabia, it's just, this is good quality Age of Empires 4. I don't have a single complaint about Dry Arabia. I'm hearing complaints that Lipany should be above Dry Arabia, but this is my list. Dry Arabia is just great. It's a great map. There's nothing to complain about it. Lipany, honestly, I would have a complaint about Lipany. As the stealth forest can be fun, I find the stealth forest to be absolutely obnoxious with the way they like you. If you build a tower in the middle of it, it's still, you can't see line of sight over it. And like suddenly you roll up and here's a bunch of French knights and hello, you had no idea they were there. And maybe that's how stealth forests work. But like this whole map, it's hard to scout. It gets awkward. I don't love it. I don't love it. This is why it's an S. And now I'm thinking Lipany should go to A after remembering about some of that stuff. But I'm gonna keep it there. Dry Arabia, S+. Okay, French Pass. French Pass. Oh boy. Is it A? I'm debating if it's A or B. In general, it seems to be fair spawns. I think it's usually a fair spawn. I don't enjoy playing on French Pass. It's same thing of like kind of said about Confluence. I hate the like, which side do you go around? Do you just get unlucky and go the wrong way? There's all the golds in the middle. Like, does the opponent beat you to get a keep up and then the game's over because you just have no gold? And then there's civs that don't need to actually take the map for gold. I almost thinking this should go in B. Because I would rate Hill and Dale above French Pass. I don't want to insult Hill and Dale like that. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, I think that's solid. What do you guys think? It's not an Alt F4, although I can't say, oh man. By my criteria, I think I have Alt F4 French Pass before, but it must be really rare. I think this is good. B. Last but not least, High View. Oh boy, High View. I feel like this is up there. I think Lipany, I think Dry Arabia is only S+ though. I always confuse like what's the difference between Lipany and High View. Lipany's got the like cliffs. I've seen some wild sacred site of spawns on Lipany. I would almost say, is someone saying Alt F4 for Highview? Or is Highview the one with the hills? Maybe it's Highview. I think it is Highview. Because I've seen one where oh, that's the one with Stealth Forest. Oh my gosh, did I give Lipany a bad rap? Was I getting them confused? They are very similar, for what it's worth. I don't think they could be ranked the same though, guys. I think we need to do something about this S layer. Let's see here. Altai Mountain Pass. I definitely like this. Love this map. Love this map. Do I love these maps? Are they really A tier maps? Lipany is S. Man, now I'm hearing all the things. Highview is S plus for Roos. Pass move to A. Nah, Mountain Pass S tier. If anything, I would almost say just because these Stealth Forests could be annoying. One of these maps, I can't remember which one, can have ridiculous sacred sites. I've had them where all the sacred sites were on one single hill on the far right side. Like, and I was Delhi. It was OP for me. It was super easy. No Way, Danube, and Mongolian are the same tier. Really? Lipany is the crazy sacred site with cliffs. Okay, for that reason, Lipany is going to A. Because this could have very bad spawns. I think Highview doesn't deserve to be an S tier, but it's going to stay there. Because I think it's higher than these two. Okay, let's go through here. Dry Arabia, S+. Yes, yes, yes. Hill and Dale, Lipany, King of the Hill, Ancient Spires, French Pass. These are like almost all F4 maps. Honestly, I'd rate this a little bit above these two, but I think it's going to be okay staying here. Sometimes Alt F4, sometimes I play them. Definitely never play maps. I think this is pretty solid. If you think there is something I've got wrong here, now's your time to make the objection, chat. And after I post this here on YouTube, make sure you leave in the comments. Let me know, did I get it right? Or post your own tier list if I did not get it correct. But I think this is certified. I think this is obviously going to depend on your civilization you like to play. But I think I could stand by this. Should I click the I agree so you'd have to read that the whole time? Anyways, okay, guys, this is it. This is it. I put my stamp. This is the FitzBro stamp of approval. The official, as of November 11/22/21. This is where the map tier list stands. I think this could change as balance changes for the game. Not only with, well, Civ balance changes, but map balance, RNG balance. I think it's going to change. But thank you so much for watching this tier list. And check out the channel for plenty more strategy guides, castle games, and all of that Age of Empires 4 content. I'll see you in the next one.